Hey scholars, this video is on linear equations, and there are two types of linear equations that I'm going over today. They are the slope-intercept form and the point-slope form. So here we go. Here are two different kinds of linear equations that we're taking a look at. The slope-intercept form is, in my opinion, the easiest to use. It's my personal favorite, but who knows? Maybe the point slope form is going to be your favorite. We'll see. I feel like the point slope form I mean, they're one and the same, right? They're both two different ways to represent a linear equation, right? This way, it just seems a little bit more complicated to me, but if you're given a point and you are also given the slope, this is a lot easier to use. You can plug it in and the slope-intercept form pops right out. So let's just kind of take a look at those. So obviously, if you're given a graph where you have your x-axis and you have your y-axis and then you have your line, and it shows that this crosses the line at 1, right? And then you have like these other points. And so you can look and see like where the line crosses, at these next points and whatnot. This is really easy because boom, they've given you the y-intercept right there. That's your starting point at 0. So you can go right into the slope-intercept equation and go, oh, yeah, well, I know that my b is my starting point, and then m is my slope. And notice, slope-intercept, slope, y-intercept, like it's golden. It's so easy to use. You can just come right here and go y equals, oh, well, I know it crosses the y-axis, my y-intercept at 1, done. And then all you have to do is find the slope and plug that in. So from 1 to the next point, I just go over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, super easy. Or back 1, down 1, back 1, down 1. And so this just has a slope of 1. And you can see this as, since slope is the change in y over the change in x, also known as rise over run is what we always say. In mathematics, a lot of the time we'll use triangles to show change. And so rise over run, you can do over 1, up 1, right? So it's like 1 over 1, right? Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. But if you went backwards, it'll always work out too. Just keep that in mind. Like I go in a negative direction, 1 on the x-axis, and then a negative direction down on the y-axis. And again, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so your slope is still 1, all right? So really easy to find no matter which way you want to go. Other tip, always remember you read graphs left to right, just like you read a book. So this one, the slope is increasing, it's positive. It's another check. It's positive because from some point on the left side to some point on the right side, it has gone up. It is increasing. You read a graph from left to right. So this is like y equals 1x plus 1, which you don't even need to write the 1 there because that's implied as the coefficient if it's not written. So the equation for this line here is y equals 1x plus 1. Not bad at all. For slope-intercept as well, like if you needed to find the slope-intercept form, and let's say that you were given a line that you didn't, the graph wasn't as obvious. So I'm gonna do this. No, no, I'm not. Let's say you were given a graph that wasn't as obvious for the slope-intercept form, right? Let's say that you were just given these 2 points or this graph, either way, right? It's not obvious what the y-intercept is going to be here. Now you could figure out how many did you go over and then how many did you go up, and then you could use that slope to go over and up again and like keep going, and you could find the y-intercept to your starting point. But these numbers could get really big. That's when it's much easier to use the point slope form. So here you just need 1 point, which we're given 2, and you need the slope. In order to find the slope, you definitely need 2 points. They either need to give you the slope or you need 2 points to find slope, right? So let's just find slope. So the change in y over the change in x. And from this point to this point, I went down 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going -4. And then I went over 1, 2, positive 2. All right. So my slope then is -4 over 2. All right. That's nice and pretty. Negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 2 goes into 4 twice. So my slope is 2. Boom. I have got that to plug into my equation. Now the other thing is I have slope. So the other thing is I need to find one of the points. You pick whichever points you want. Usually I try to go for lower numbers. I don't know, 6 is higher than 4 and 5, but 1 is lower. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm just going to go for that 6, 1. So that's going to be my point. And 6, 1, remember it's x, y, right? So that's what I have here. I have x's and I have y's. Now, these two, the y sub 1 and the x sub 1, those are what represent your point. So this is going to be my x sub 1 and my y sub 1. You can barely see that, but you get it. So I'm just going to plug all of this in here. I'm going to make this actually a little clearer. M equals 2, -2, and x sub 1, comma, y sub 1 equals 6, 1. And now it's nice and pretty. So I'm just going to point here because that helps me. So y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. There we go. Now remember, if either of these two are negative, then you're going to be plugging in y minus -1. And in that case, it would change to addition, because minusing a negative or subtracting a negative is moving in the positive direction. So now we have it, it's done. You have an equation in point slope form. It is the equation of the line. All right, and that's it. Like, you can be done. I think this looks really horrible. I really like the slope intercept form. Maybe you're curious about where this actually does cross the y-axis, because that's what you need to know, is like, when I started at time 0, how much, of the, I don't know, how much money did you have, right? How high up was it? I don't know. So really nice, so easy to clean this up. We only have to do 2 things. We just have to solve for y, because y is all by itself over here. So we just have to get y on its own. And there's no parentheses in this. So we just got to like clean this up a bit, right? So it doesn't matter which one you do first. I'm just going to solve for y first, because I see this -1 and I really want to add it to the other side. I just want to make it positive so bad. So now y equals -2x minus 6 plus 1. And then get rid of these pesky parentheses. Negative times negative is a positive. And then clean it up. I can add like my like terms. And boom, there it is in my favorite form, the slope intercept form. And so you can see the point slope form is really the slope intercept form in disguise. So this one is super easy given 2 points. There is one even easier way, which I gave you on the quiz. So to find equation in point slope form, let's say you are given not 2 points. Here we were given 2 points. Here. There's also the way to do it where you are given the slope and 1 point. And of course, this one's really much easier, right? The directions say, find the equation in point slope form given the slope and a point. So here's your slope, m equals 3, and your point is 4, 9. Let's just say. All right, that's going to be even easier, because you already have m to plug into the equation, and then 4, 9 is going to be your x1 and your y1. Boom, you are just going to plug that in. You are going to say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And you're done. And there it is. And let's say they were like, find the slope intercept form given the slope and 1 point. Oh, well, I know how to do that. You just solve for y and get rid of the parentheses. So plus 9, y equals 3. Combine like terms. And there you have it. You have your answer in both slope intercept and point slope. So you can either be given 2 points and you can find either form. You can be given the slope and a point and you can find either form. Or this is like the easiest, if they give you the graph and you see where it crosses the y-axis, boom, you can plug it right into there. You could also, for this one, in order to put it into point slope form, you could very easily pick whichever point you want and plug it into the equation. So we know that the slope is 1. And then I'm just going to pick, like, I don't know, 0, 1, because I like that. It's pretty. I like picking the zeros. Zeros are usually easiest to work with, even though they can be kind of evil sometimes. So this is going to be, this is 0, 1. So I'm going to choose my point. 0, 1 is my x1, y1. And then y minus 1 equals 1 times x minus 0. That'll work. That'll work. I mean, I don't even have to write that 1, right? And this 0, like, doesn't even have to be written either. Huh. Zeros are evil. That could also be in point slope form. Crazy. Anyway, I hope that helps.